start. It's the Pacific Rim Pro Wrestling Podcast, the podcast that takes you from every point throughout history and from Seattle to Tokyo, Japan. It's Jim Valley here in the Seattle area, and we head across the Pacific Ocean, the Pacific Rim, to the aforementioned Tokyo, Japan, and that is where we find Japan's foremost leading author, historian, and journalist, my friend, your friend, Fumi Saito. How are you?
Hello from Tokyo.
Yes. I guess it doesn't really matter. You live near like Harajuku, right?
I live in Harajuku.
You are in Harajuku. Okay.
Yeah.
The funky place, sort of like Japan's Portland, kind of. It's kind of funky.
Yeah.
Portland.
Or the Las Vegas Strip or Park Avenue, New York City, or whatever.
I would say the Ginza is more Park Avenue, but
Or Beverly Hills or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but Harajuku and Roppongi is only like 10 minutes drive, and
right.
Yeah. And when I step out, it's all tourists.
It's gotten crazy now, hasn't it?
Because Japan the economy is so bad that for coming from the stateside, everything seems so cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also it's been decades of Japanese culture. All these older young kids, young adults. Anime, Nintendo, all that
kawaii,
all that stuff has brought people, to Japan.
Yeah.
I was just curious. The first time I went was 2007, and I looked at some graph that had travel growth for years, and 2007 is way down, way low, and everything else is way up here now. It's been remarkable, even just the last 20 years. And now looks like there's going to be more people coming to Japan. Looks like Wrestle Kingdom is going to be the biggest it's been in years. But real quickly, before I forget, and before we take off to the races, I do want to mention, as we're recording this, I have just watched AEW Blood and Guts, this year's version. The women killed it. It was incredible. No spoilers in case you haven't seen it yet, but go out of your way to see it. It's tremendous. I can't believe the amount of wrestling and the quality and all across every company that you get today is amazing. It's what a great time to be a wrestling fan. So Fumi, if you can, try to see it. It's good. It's really good. The women were great. It was totally like Jim Crockett Promotions, like the War Games back in the day. They did great. It was, a lot of fighting, a lot of brawling, punching, kicking, weapons. A lot of blood, but it was great. It was tremendous. Loved it. So go anywhere to see it.
All right. Anyway, well, I'll get to see it within a day or two.
Good. Hope you do. Love to hear your thoughts. I was surprised to hear how great. Very happy to hear how great sales are for Tokyo Dome. What a feather in Tanahashi's cap.
Tanahashi's retirement, yeah.
I mean, what an exclamation point to his career, and cementing him even more as an all-time legend.
He is the biggest Japanese wrestling superstar of the past 20 to 25 years. So let's just say biggest Japanese superstar in 21st century so far.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to leave out, people like Shinsuke Nakamura or Kazuchika Okada. We'll get to that. But overall, see, this is very interesting time because we should compare Hiroshi Tanahashi and John Cena.
Right.
Yeah. Two biggest superstars of this era.
Yeah.
I see. And John Cena and Hiroshi Tanahashi never crossed paths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the Japanese side, the New Japan's biggest superstar, and arguably the biggest superstar since in the year 2000, new millennium era. And what's interesting is that John Cena, born 1977, Hiroshi Tanahashi, born 1976, and Cena, Tanahashi, both debuted 1999. They're really parallels. You know what I'm saying? Never cross path. That's why we are right in the middle who can compare these two superstars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows, John Cena's bio and how he's going into this retirement, the season finale thing. Well, Tanahashi, at the same time, that he's an eight-time IWGP champion, and two-time IWGP Intercontinental champion. Well, there's no such title anymore, but the two-time the IWGP Intercontinental champion, 3 times IWGP US champion, and if you remember, 2 times IWGP Under 30 title. You probably don't remember, but
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's kind of like World Cup soccer.
Yeah.
Big capital U and say 30, Under 30 IWGP champion. He created it during the dark age of Japanese professional wrestling. And new one, like, NJPW, New Japan World, like a streaming service. He was also the the New Japan World TV title, and 3-time IWGP Tag Team Champion. And his partners were interesting because that tells you the era. The first time he won the IWGP Tag Team title, his partner was late Yutaka Yoshie, right? And the second time, Tanahashi's partner was Shinsuke Nakamura. Then third time, tag team partner was Kota Ibushi. So every era, pretty much, sub, but Tanahashi was there, and then he was one time that the New Japan never openweight champion, 6-time never openweight 6-man tag team champion, and what more importantly, he was 3-time that New Japan G1 Climax tournament winner, 3 times. And what's interesting was that the first time he won the G1 Climax, it was 2007. Oh, that era. Then second time he won the G1 Climax, 2015. Oh, that era. Then third time and final time he won the G1 Climax was 2018. Obviously pre-COVID, And then also he even held the Pro Wrestling North's GHC tag team title with Yuji Nagata. That's a crossover era, right? And those things. And also he and Liger won the CMLL tag team champion in Mexico too. So he that really signifies that where he was, when he was, and what he did. And interestingly enough, that the same time though, John Cena's path, Hiroshi Tanahashi's success, it really parallels. These two superstars never crossed paths. That tells you about the era, the wrestling world we are living in. Up until then, see people like Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, they came to Japan and defended their titles. John Cena, WWE Japan Tour, yes. Genuine WWE Japan Tour with no Japanese wrestlers involved. I'm not saying, Shinsuke Nakamura, the Asuka, the Kairi Sane, the Io Sky, they were not exactly Japanese wrestling superstars anymore. They were WWE superstars, And so they, it's like more domestic or Japanese wrestling community and WWE and the world, community. It really didn't cross paths last 20 years, 25 years. Yeah.
Do you know if they ever wanted to or thought about it or anything like that?
Interestingly enough, there's a topic we got to talk about, this Shinsuke Nakamura against Tanahashi for Tanahashi's retirement, January 4th, Tokyo, almost happened, but didn't happen, And Shinsuke Nakamura himself felt, from what I gathered, felt that it could happen, but something happened. It didn't happen. And back it was last month, that when WWE had Japan tour for 2 days, when fans were not around, Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi got together and had dinner in Japan, in Tokyo. Yeah. Then in the personal level, they wanted that to happen. Yeah, we want to do this. We want to do this. It would be the biggest single matchup. Don't you think?
I'm not in Japan.
Yeah.
And I get the whole history, chaos and everything with those two. But to me, and maybe this is just blinders or being American, what have you, when I see, the old guard, the old legend retire, you pass the torch. And I see Okada as the heir to that torch.
But it's nothing new, though, really.
True, but they've got, they've been 3 times at Tokyo Dome. And I don't know, I kind of think it's also appropriate to have them tied up at Tokyo.
But it's so AEW.
I would argue that it's more wrestling in Japanese tradition. And maybe today that would be AEW. I can see that point.
And also, simply, Nakamura-Tanahashi matchup is much bigger than not so anticipated Tanahashi-Okada rematch, because they've done it many times.
They have. Yes, they have.
It only has been, 2 years, Yeah, and people know the background story that before Okada became the biggest superstar, it was Tanahashi and Nakamura who saved Japanese wrestling from the dark age.
Right.
Yeah. And they went separate way.
That question is coming up, but yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I don't dispute what you're saying. I'm just saying that like I said with my blinders, that you pass it on to somebody else. You pass it on to okay, let's
okay, talking about the passing torch.
Yeah.
Tanahashi passed his torch to Okada 12 years ago already.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, because we're old enough to look back 12 years and say, wow, Okada's championship reign that long, 12 years, like a first grade to 12th grade, all the way to in the high school. 12 years is a long time, but I didn't realize how long it was. But the Okada era happened, really. There was Okada era, clearly. It was after Tanahashi obviously, passed the torch. So it's not that the theme isn't passing the torch. And almost looking like right now, the plan of trying to have Nakamura one last time, or the only time maybe that to have Nakamura back in New Japan ring to face old friend Tanahashi for the final time and the last time. It almost happened. The story is out. And now that they announced Tanahashi against Kazuchika Okada, it kind of looked like they went plan B.
I get that, Nakamura is a WWE superstar. I get that. I get that he's more famous around worldwide. I get all of that. Here's where, if I am whomever in charge, if I can get in writing with penalties if it doesn't happen, that at some point in the future, when we agree on, Nakamura comes back at some Tokyo Dome and puts over my new young guy, and we're good. But if it's just going to help WWE, I don't think I'm in that business.
It doesn't help WWE one way or another. It's separate. WWE is WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know that,
And
but how long has
when
WWE been trying to inroad in Japan?
it's always WWE term worldwide.
Exactly.
Japan's only just one of the many turf that they invade. They don't really communicate and let's put it this way: WWE doesn't look at another company as their equal ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this is individual, thing that the Nakamura comes in. Well, WWE superstar, of course, but the way he comes in, the people welcome him back in Japan. No, welcome, Nakamura back. Welcome back, and thank you for coming back for this one last time, or not last time, but just one match thing that it really have this big theme that Tanahashi and Nakamura met in the ring one last time. That was a big theme, big thing.
No, it's a big deal. I'm not going to dispute it, but I just I don't know that I wouldn't have made the same decision if I was if I was in charge.
You're saying that Tanahashi Okada is much bigger than the Tanahashi Nakamura? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that I don't really see other than a big house, and I don't know the outcome. My assumption is the outcome is that the guy on WWE television wins. I guess I could be wrong, but you never know. But that, like you said, that's not the history. That's not I guess a long shot is possible. I wasn't at the restaurant. Maybe you were, but I'm just saying that I probably would have made the same. I would have probably gone with that plan as well. From a business standpoint, that's what I would have done.
I mean, like business point of view. What have you done?
Long term, I don't know. You get a big house, and that from Nakamura, and that you make some press.
But that's not supposed to lead into another thing. Tanahashi really retires that night, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, there's no second program or the sequel to that.
That's why I don't go with Nakamura. Me personally. And look, I feel like what I'm saying sounds old school to me. Maybe it sounds different than I'm perceiving it. And I would have this feeling with whomever. I have no problem with people going out on their back. There are special considerations when that changes, and maybe Tanahashi is one of those. Either way, someone the New Japan going forward should benefit in some way. What happens to the company when their most commercially well-known star, most mainstream star goes away? What happens? And I think you have to keep that in mind as a company, in my opinion.
But he will still be the face of the company as real president
yes.
of
President.
New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah.
Right.
He probably will be more of a Triple H from now on.
Right. Yeah. But, while that gives an air of credibility and authenticity and things to fans like Paul Levesque does, no one's paying to see Triple H wrestle. Or, hey, I hope I'm going to buy tickets because of Triple H. I think it's important for any company to consider that.
The going forward program would be Takeshita against Yota Tsuji.
Well, here's a great example. You mentioned John Cena. Or not, you mentioned John Cena, but also Kurt Angle, big star. His retirement match, who he lost to at WrestleMania. Baron Corbin. Remember him?
Kurt Angle wouldn't be a very good example in our conversation right now.
I'm just saying it's important who the opponent is and the outcome.
Outcome probably is I don't think Tanahashi is trying to win.
I know he's not. The point is give it to someone who can perhaps parlay it into something that will benefit his company.
Yeah, but then Kazuchika Okada doesn't make much sense either. He's an AEW wrestler.
You don't think he would go back and lose? No. I guess I should ask that question first. Anyway.
All right. What's your thing? Okada against this time. Okada against Tanahashi.
What do you mean?
What's your thing?
I
mean, who's going to win?
All right. Well, I would imagine. Let me put it this way. I imagine Okada wins. However, I can also see in this case there is more doubt about who does win than against Shinsuke Nakamura. I think the answer to the
they will do something that the outcome wouldn't matter that much. They'll be creative.
That could be true too.
Yeah, because it's okay for Tanahashi to lose, but it's not okay for Nakamura to lose in Japan. That's WWE wrestler,
right?
Yeah, but they're willing to to have a match in the first place. They know that going in.
Well, of course, that's why Tanahashi or Nakamura wrestled Muto.
Yeah, and also he became like a great Muto after returning home.
Right.
Yeah. He inherited the big mist and all these, mysterious Japanese kabuki-like, figure that he became somewhat inherited, like great Muta in him. Inner great Muta was born that day. So there was a reason for that.
Right.
And also, Muto, 15, 20 years older than Nakamura, that he wouldn't have, Yeah, and then also it was not a retirement match itself. It was one of the last matches.
Right. But I'm just saying it's fine, but I'm just saying it should. I don't know. It's fine if you were. I just think that it makes more sense the other way. Sorry, me. Oh, I forgot to do that.
I mean, it makes sense. Which way?
I personally think I understand the logic. If Okada Tanahashi is Plan B, I follow the logic. And I get there are. I haven't seen anything confirmed, but I get there have been whispers and things about what happened, pressure from whomever. I've never heard anything confirmed, and anything is possible. But I still think that the potential for something in the future is better for New Japan. And look, obviously, if Tanahashi, wanted it, then he would obviously not agree with me. So he knows more than I do. No one's going to dispute that. So there you go.
But this is obviously retirement match. There is no future after that.
There's a future for New Japan.
Yeah, but Tanahashi is not in that future picture.
Right, but perhaps, and look,
there is not going to be Tanahashi Okada rematch in AEW or anything like that.
Right, but much like you pass on the essence, to someone or the street, whatever, and then someone, if it's Okada,
the fact that the theme of passing the torch isn't there.
It's a retirement match.
And also, right now, Okada and Tanahashi is equal. No passing torch.
It still benefits. You want to call it something else then. That's semantics. We're parsing words there. But anyway, I think I understand everything you're saying. I agree. It would be more publicity and more mainstream interest for sure in Japan.
With
But
Nakamura?
yes, yeah, I don't dispute that.
Well, Okada is just as big because he's like Major League Baseball player that came and played one game, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah.
He's
It's
Otani.
just equally big, but it seems like now that the conversation between Tanahashi and Nakamura was got out, and now that they're announcing Okada as an opponent, Gedo bringing Okada into the building and the challenge Tanahashi, like ran a small angle and all that. It looks like a plan B, which is fine, but it's the biggest card they can produce right now, But okay, can you come up with anybody else at all for Tanahashi's last opponent? If it's not Nakamura or Okada, Okada is the biggest opponent.
I think that, as far
Somebody
as that,
like Yota Tsuji?
I
They just
thought before, right? But it just that was before their match happened. That was kind of my thought as to where they could go. I expected like a younger guy. I figured it was going to be maybe one of the new Musketeers, something like that. And that's what I expected. But
obviously passing torch, yes. Yeah.
It just they need stars and they need to keep things going, and it just seemed to make the most sense to me. But
New Japan already made up their mind that your IWGP World Heavyweight Champion is Takeshita from this point on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Takeshita.
I thought he could be somebody too, perhaps. But I didn't expect a unification match. That caught me way off guard. So
Yota Tsuji, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, IWGP World Champion against IWGP Global Champion. Yeah, that can unify. And obviously, it's not Yoji Tsuji's time. It's like Takeshita's getting bigger and bigger every time right now.
Yeah. Maybe that was my other thought. I was like, I guess they're I'm not in Japan, so there are certain things I couldn't know. I'd have to be there. So I was like, well, obviously they have confidence in one of these two guys,
Takeshita.
Right? But I'm saying, it also could be that Takeshita is an AEW wrestler, and they did that, and he's willing to put over.
They are telling the world that Takeshita is the very first wrestler under contract with 3 separate companies: AEW contract, superstar, New Japan contract superstar, and DDT contract superstar. So it's the story, of course, but he is under 3 different logos, and he's the only wrestler that carry 3 different contracts at the same time and traveling all over the world. He even worked DDT show while he's here.
Yeah.
He's
impressive.
Unique, very unique. And also his height and the size and the way he works, the way he, carry himself. Takeshita is very much international superstar. And he will be much bigger. Yeah. And
incredible.
He only get bigger from this point on.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
so it doesn't have to be Takeshita against Tanahashi for Tanahashi's final match.
No, it doesn't. Obviously, I would say that's another thing that maybe that's the feeling is that they have a guy to build around. At least, it's for for however long, and it's it's they're comfortable and they don't need to pass the torch or whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's it.
Who will be John Cena's very last opponent in December? November? December?
Dave Meltzer reported a few weeks ago that the winner of the tournament is scheduled to be Gunther. However, you and I, Dave, to use those famous words, plans change. I haven't heard they have, but right now, the last I heard was Gunther.
Did John Cena, Gunther program happen before, or this is the first time ever?
I believe.
I don't remember.
I don't recall one. I mean, he hasn't been around. John Cena combined last? No, I don't believe so. No, not that I.
Yeah, if it happened, it's like Saudi Arabia one night, but it's never been SmackDown program or Monday Night Raw program. Like a 3 months program. Okay, they're going to make sense because it has to be somebody who's there now,
and somebody you trust.
Yeah.
Somebody you trust is going.
For the future thing we've been talking about. Who do you think there is in New Japan? The perfect passing the torch opponent for Tanahashi. I think it's a farewell is just good enough. It's not for looking for New Japan 2026 program.
One of the things I try not to do too much is give my own booking or what have you, simply because I'm not backstage. This person, whomever, I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not thinking of anybody. This person, I could see somebody in the ring. Oh my gosh, they are ridiculously talented. They're over with the crowd, and then you find out that, that person is unreliable or, they have issues that no one talks about, or they are,
we don't know,
or just standoffish, whatever. There's a reason that whomever is not giving them more spotlight because they have no faith or not enough faith in them. So I try not to do that for that reason. So, I hadn't really considered, obviously I mentioned the Musketeers. So I thought of them. I thought of Gabe Kidd, but he's Gaijin. I'm sorry, he's foreigner, young guy, probably not yet. But so I had some thoughts, but other than maybe those guys, I hadn't really gone too deep.
If they were to use somebody like Three Musketeer or younger superstar to be, that the building up should have started months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so yes.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Yeah. But this is like really farewell show. The sentiment is there. It's done. And sold out Tokyo Dome Arena side already. Only have nosebleeds are left. And it will be packed, very packed Tokyo Dome. I mean, legitimate sellout Tokyo Dome for the first time in how many years, I don't know. It's that the story's done. That it's Tanahashi show, no matter what.
And you know what? This show right now is supposed to be Tanahashi show. So let's move past this. Talk about Tanahashi.
Well, Tanahashi really has been much like we talked about John Cena. He's always been meaning like past 20, 25 years, the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you remember, he could, people could tell from the Young Lion days that he got hurt. Young Lion meaning short hair, black plain trunks and black wrestling boots, nothing else. You're not supposed to be wearing anything else. You're, Young Lion. You can use body slam, drop kick, and Boston Crab. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And practice, dojo practice, most of this great athlete, young lions and the dojo, they can do all these actual flashy moves, but you're just holding it, right? While you are young lion, you just do the basic grappling, wrestling, like wrestling 101. Yes, sir. Then Tanahashi had his short hair, black trunks and black boots, and he got hurt. And when he came back, he went ahead and changed costume to, if you know, the red spat and white boots. And look, he didn't graduate from young lion status. He went ahead and dressed himself like he just came back from somewhere, right? But this year 2001 version of New Japan didn't stop him from doing it. And people don't remember this one very much, but 2001, return of Scott Hall to New Japan ring. Scott Hall, right after WCW being bought by WWF, but he didn't return WWF until following year's WrestleManias, NWO and all that. 2001, Scott Hall came back to New Japan, 3 tours on his own, all by himself. He was staying at the KO Plaza Hotel in Shinjuku. I went to visit him, many times just to sit down and chat. And Scott Hall told me, I found a guy. This guy is money. What? This guy is money, is how he, his name is Hiroshi Tanahashi. So, that guy, I'm talking about 2001, 24 years ago. And Scott Hall went ahead and just like 1, 2, 3 kid thing, that there was a single match, young Hiroshi Tanahashi against returns Scott Hall single match, cradle, inside cradle, package, Tanahashi pin, 1, 2, 3. Scott Hall did it on his own. You know what I'm saying? He put young Tanahashi over clean in that ring, 2001. And all these New Japan wrestlers came out of dressing rooms. What happened? What happened? What happened? It's like, I didn't hear it. It's like, was that an accident? It's like wrestlers didn't even know the finish. Scott Hall went ahead, go ahead and pin me. And, like a small package, we call it in Japan, inside cradle. It's a roll up. So it's not like big move and big splash in 1, 2, 3. But it was but it was very surprising that somebody like 2-year rookie Hiroshi Tanahashi pinning superstar Scott Hall pretty much right in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. And then Scott Hall went, see, this guy is money. He predicted. Did you know that story?
Tanahashi's talked about Scott Hall's influence on his career and things. Couple of things. When he came back in different gear, I had never heard. Are you saying he did that all on his own and the company allowed it? That's what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the time. Yeah, because now they don't do that. The company, like a dressing room code, code of conduct is a little bit more strict that when you're young lion, do young lion thing, right? But it was wrestling world is stepping into this dark age that Antonio Inoki selling New Japan company to Ukes, and Ukes sold it to Bushiroad, and more importantly, it was a peak era of Pride and K1, MMA, that running Tokyo Dome, the Saitama Hall, the Osaka Dome, that New Year's Eve, big MMA extravaganza, pro wrestlers like Yuji Nagata going in, get kicked, and Kendo Kashin is just Yuji Nagata, Kendo Kashin, they were college wrestling champion before wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Antonio Inoki handpicked these guys to be thrown into MMA situation because they could have done well. But today's common sense, if you had if you were to have MMA match against people like Milko Krokop or the Federer Emelianenko, you'll have what, 3 months of training. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and you also, you've got 30 years, basically, not whatever, 28, whatever it was, of Inoki, bringing in people, bringing in legit fighters to beat and things like this. And, a lot of fans believing.
In New Japan Ring.
Right. Exactly.
But it was not New Japan Ring. And the things are different. It's after Hoist Gracie, the Hickson Gracie beating Nobuhiko Takada, all these, MMA era, and the most loyal wrestling fan in millennium into new century. That the most loyal wrestling fan, a lot of them left. If wrestling was like that, like as Anthony Inoki was saying, that the king of sports, that's what it should look like. Looking at the MMA, it's like, then it's like wrestling couldn't do it. Just can't do anything. That you have to wait for Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura and probably Katsuyori Shibata's rise, brand new superstar. Then you have something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Then Yuji Nagata looked back and talk about himself. They say, yeah, I sacrificed. They said, look back, he's glad that was him. Big guy, you know what I mean? Big heart. Because wrestling world had to wait for Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura and Katsuyori Shibata to come up, and finally new era. Wrestling business was saved. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we had Dark Age. When you came to Japan for the first time in 2007, it was still in the middle of Dark Age. New Japan was still running Tokyo Dome. They were still running G1 Climax in summer. They were still running IWGP Championship program, but people weren't watching wrestling that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there were Dark Age, and Tanahashi walked right through it, made wrestling big again. I mean, we skipped quite a few, important things. But, you know what I'm saying? All in all, we had to wait for Tanahashi. And, the people like Keiji Muto, so smart that in All Japan Ring and New Japan Ring, they work together. Muto's version of All Japan and that era's version of New Japan, or both from New Japan to begin with, but they work together when things are bad. And that the 2007, there was a important single match. Uprising Tanahashi against Keiji Muto, single match. And Muto put Tanahashi over clean. 2007. It helped, you know what I'm saying? And probably for Muto, it doesn't make any sense for him to win that time. It only helps because this guy, Hiroshi Tanahashi, who used to carry Muto's bag, back then, way back when, that if Muto put Tanahashi over clean, it will change wrestling. And it wasn't the only match, but some things like that were important in wrestling community.
Yeah. Is that the match if you could point, we're talking about Tanahashi here, so point to a match with Tanahashi that made him Tanahashi, what would you say it is?
These series of matches, there was like, not just one match, but like saying like he won G1 Climax for the first time in 2007, start winning IWGP Championship. All in all, he won IWGP Championship 8 times, much like John Cena, and it revolved around Tanahashi and Nakamura, and they were equal. You know what I'm saying? That one left to go to Major League, one stayed in Japan to be Japan's biggest superstar. Nakamura and Tanahashi, very equal. Yeah. Kazuchika Okada came in a little bit late, after that, because
Right.
he spent a couple years in TNA that nobody really paid much attention while he was in America. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. No, I mean,
And
he's a different era. They're different generation.
right after, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I thought was interesting, and we were talking about it when Tanahashi was talking about the eras, and when he beat Tenryu, and then now when he beat, and then he says there's an era he's going to end by beating Tanahashi. Talk about that.
Well, that was very public speech kind of thing, because now you know what the Showa era is. Showa era is Showa Imperial era that we do have these years, that then
Which is
Heisei era starts 1989 and ends 2019, 30-year period.
It has nothing to do with wrestling. It's based on the prime minister.
It's Imperial era.
Yeah, so we're talking across Japan, these aren't pro wrestling eras. These are eras that are marked pretty much by everybody, right?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with wrestling. So that's why it's pretty much.
For people who don't know, I want to explain that.
Okay, Showa era, Heisei era. Right now, it's the Reiwa era. We still keep this Imperial era, So
Right.
It was like easy for public to understand. I ended the Showa era by facing Tenryu. I will end the Heisei era by facing Tanahashi for the one last time. So it's very much public speech kind of figure.
I know that. I think a lot of people saw it, and maybe if you're from a different country, you may not know exactly what he was saying. So I kind of wanted you to
Imperial era. Yeah, it's nothing to do with wrestling. Yeah,
I want you to explain what he meant. That's what I'm saying. So
right. So yeah, Showa era for the 60-year period, and Heisei era for 30-year period. Now we're in Reiwa era.
Right.
Oh, thank you. somebody just posted.
And the Reiwa era has been around about 5 years?
Seventh year. Yeah. 2019. Yeah.
Oh, it's 19. Okay.
This last Heisei era emperor didn't die. Usually, emperor dies, the next era starts. But this one, that Heisei emperor, he decided to retire. He's still like retired, but he's still here.
And does the prime minister name the era? Is that how it works, or does the emperor?
The group of people, like a think tank kind of. That
Okay.
There's a whole department of Imperial Park, does thing much like royal family matter. Yeah.
Okay. I remember
Prime Minister didn't name it. No.
Okay, that's what I remember. You explained it as we were walking.
Prime Minister changes just about every other year.
You explained as we were, I think, walking back to your place or something. That New Year's on 2019. So
yeah,
it was a busy night. It was
Reiwa era starts. Yeah,
probably about 2 a.m, as I
recall. Yeah, after Kilokan Bar.
Yes, the night he serenaded us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Kilokan is not with us anymore.
I know.
So Antonio Inoki's not with us anymore. You know? Hulk Hogan isn't with us anymore.
Yeah.
It's like when you realize 21st century is like the quarter of it is gone, already. Yeah.
Oh goodness. I was
quarter centuries. Yeah. Therefore, we're looking at Hiroshi Tanahashi and John Cena equally. They were the two biggest superstars over the past 25 years. Agree?
Right. Yeah. I mean, certainly Roman Reigns is
CM Punk.
Yeah. I would, with all due respect to Mr. Punk, I would put Roman above him for certain reasons. But but that doesn't mean Punk is not important. He is. But I mean, Roman there's still some more to be written. So I'm not gonna leave him over there for right now.
Or Cody Rhodes will be much, bigger next year, the year after, keep
Exactly.
getting bigger.
Yeah. With all due respect to those gentlemen and perhaps a few others, we're not considering.
And also more casual wrestling
Yeah.
fan or
yeah.
general public,
Right.
Hiroshi Tanahashi, John Cena, famous household name.
Well, a lot of that is longevity. The movies,
Longevity. Yeah.
longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, it took, Cena was a big star, but, he wasn't selling out everywhere in his prime, like, say, Hulk Hogan was. Those type of
And
things.
also he was never the
He was in
best
a down
wrestler.
era. He was in the down era. I wouldn't say the dark ages, but a down era, a downtime in the business as well. But there's
he had a good Hulk Hogan pattern with his attitude adjustment. He beat everybody.
So many wrestling fans, and probably a lot of people who subscribe to the Observer website, we're always saying this is a big mistake for WWE to go with John Cena. Gets booed, and history has shown them to be wrong. And I never said that, but at the same time, you gotta. I believe when you are wrong about something, I believe you should own it. You can't just move on. But history shows they were wrong. WWE, even Vince in this case,
went with it. Yeah,
with the right guy.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, at the time you have a program, because so many times they made almost fun of it. How many times did John Cena had to wrestle Randy Orton?
Right.
Of course, Randy Orton won the title, 13, 14 times, but overall, it's John Cena's story. Yeah.
There are other big stars like Randy Orton. I guess Batista, you could say, whoever. But we're talking about Tanahashi.
Yeah, it's Tanahashi's era. There was a time that people challengers like Giant Bernard or other wrestlers. I don't want to say come and go, but there was a lot of program that the Tanahashi put some wrestlers over and give up the title and win it back, or 8 times altogether, and winning 3 times G1 Climax, meaning that the other 15 times that Tanahashi didn't win G1 Climax, but he was always there every year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it also people, like a general public, think about 30, 40 years ago when you walk to Japanese downtown and ask anybody when you say pro wrestler, who would you think of? Antonio Inoki, right? But now ask anybody that who do you think is the star that the long hair, that the blonde streak here in the fancy costume, and he goes like this? Oh, that's Tanahashi. He's famous.
Let's talk about his influence. I guess the most obvious one is Kento Miyahara. What about his? I mean that one's obvious.
Yeah.
But we can talk.
Every other New Japan wrestler and the Pro Wrestling Noah wrestler or All Japan wrestlers, similar hairdo, similar costume, and I mean, even today's Pro Wrestling Noah's first 4 matches, guys, the costume was blonde hair, the spats, the kicking guard, the way he carried himself, because all these things, that it's all Tanahashi children here and there and here and there. Yeah, a lot of the younger wrestlers today want to look like Tanahashi, want to work like Tanahashi, and want to act like Tanahashi. Yeah, and also, I didn't realize he's already 48, right? Yeah. First time, I spoke with Tanahashi in length, he was 28, 29. Then I thought it was just a few years. He's like, how old are you now? It's he's like, I'm 45. Oh, the son, right? Then he's now 48. But you gotta look like Tanahashi. Hulk Hogan would always look like Hulk Hogan, right? No matter what.
Right.
After retiring, Tanahashi will still have that hair. He will be the face of the company. Then he go into town. Going to new arena, that the new buildings and arena being built right now because of volleyball and basketball league. That New Japan is always going to be the company going into these new arena, new buildings, around country. Good sized buildings being, a lot of arenas being built because of basketball and volleyball league. That New Japan will always be the first wrestling company going into this arena, and that Tanahashi will be signing
Hey,
contracts with buildings.
you mentioned Tanahashi will always have that hair. Do you happen to know
I think so.
what does he use on it? Do you know the products? Shampoo,
I
conditioner?
don't know. And the little blonde and the brown and the streaks.
Look, Mr. Japan's leading journalist. These are the true questions. You find out.
I don't know.
Back to me. I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to try it, God damn it. So you find out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he goes there once a week and fix it.
Well, that's your assignment. You get the names, those products, and where I can get them.
Product or the beauty salon professional
Yes.
that take care of them every week.
You think his stylist will never tell? Is that what you think?
Yeah, I mean, he looks good,
Oh, but let's do that. We should do. You have long hair. Let's get you the Tanahashi style.
I don't know. Oh, I have a lot of gray. See, when you go like this, it's all gray inside.
Well, let's make those blonde highlights. You'd be great. Let's do it. I'll pay for it.
I am 63 years old, and I'll turn 64 in January 1st.
Let's do it. And we'll still love you when you're 64. Had to be the first.
I feel old, Yeah.
Tell me about it. I hit the wall.
But, this will be a good, holiday season for Japanese wrestling community. December 24th, 25th, Christmas into 26th, 27th, 29th. A lot of good shows. And then the New Year's Eve shows. And January 1st, of course, Budokan, the Noah. And the other shows, 2nd and 3rd. Then January 4th is the Tokyo Dome. And also, while you're in Japan, you go to Ribera Steakhouse or the Todokan or
Mr. Danger.
Mr. Danger Steakhouse or the wrestling associated, bars and restaurants and places, yeah.
And January 1st, you can celebrate someone's 64th birthday, I guess.
No, but it's January 1st, New Year's Eve into January 1st is the biggest holiday in Japan.
Right.
Like your Christmas Eve into Christmas Day.
Yeah. So
people don't remember my birthday though.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
Well, I do.
I'm not gonna advertise myself.
Well, I'm going to. That's my job.
Okay. It'll be a good show. Yeah.
I've been going back and forth. Everyone knows my deal. When my wife Carrie is in Las Vegas right now for work, and so when she gets home tomorrow, she and I are going to talk. But I'm thinking, when I saw that Tokyo Dome's going to be sold out, I'm like, I gotta go experience Tokyo Dome sold out, don't I?
Packed.
Gotta go. I've got to.
And also, they remodeled part of Tokyo Dome complex since you've been here last.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, and inside the building, Tokyo Dome, it became cashless. That you could only use credit card or PayPay card or all plastic, no cash. Interesting. And also new, and baseball themed thing, and
Sure.
they remodeled a lot of things here.
It needed a little refresh. Yeah, I mean, it's almost 40 years old coming up here pretty soon. 37.
Yeah, right. And also in Japan, Sizzler still exists. Toys R Us still exist. Tower Records still exists in Tokyo, and you might want to visit them.
Yeah, and because it's
Toys
me,
R
I'll,
Us.
I'll spend a few days at. I'm a toy park guy. I'm sorry. Gotta go to
Yeah.
toy park. It's in
Well,
the Ginza.
You
By
and
the way-
I can go to Koraken theme park right next to Tokyo Dome, like
Yes, right.
old-fashioned amusement park, like
For those,
60-year-old roller coasters.
Tokyo Dome City. You got to
Yeah.
ride Thunder Dolphin, which is the roller
Yeah.
coaster at Tokyo
Yeah.
Dome. And for the life of me, why is there no damn wrestler named Thunder Dolphin? Gosh, it's right there,
Yeah,
people.
maybe.
Right there. Do I have to do all the work for these people?
Yeah.
Jesus. I just get so mad. I'm just kidding.
Copyright.
If I was a wrestler, my nickname, Thunder Dolphin. Tell me.
Thunderdome. Okay.
So, Thunder Dolphin, like the roller coaster. Sort of like Grand Pennywise crap. So
Okay.
I liked it.
Did we get any questions around? I mean, this time.
Someone wanted to know about. Let's take questions. Someone wanted to know about just a general question: who has more political influence, Prime Minister or the Emperor in Japan?
Wow. Well, political influence is Prime Minister because Emperor does not have any political influence. He's a figure of Japanese people, like royal family,
Right.
And the politicians are politicians. Royal family is royal family. It's very separated. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody, by the way, if anyone's watching on my Facebook, where this is running live, if you ask a question, I don't think I can see it right now. I don't think.
Okay. I'm going to introduce my new T-shirt.
You have a new T-shirt. There it is. Look at that. That's beautiful. Terry Gordy.
It just came out. Terry Gordy T-shirt.
That is great.
Yeah.
That's a
Hardcore chocolate.
Who produced that?
Hardcore chocolate brand, and with the help of Miranda Gordy, Terry Gordy's daughter helped us.
That's very nice. That's very sweet of them. Very nice of them. That's great.
And same color as Bad Street, though.
Of course, that's a good picture.
Bad Street, USA. Yeah.
Good picture of him. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my question. So if I come to Tokyo Dome or come for Tokyo Dome, I'm kind of with the Stardom show at Sumo Hall is what the 28th,
29th?
29th?
December 29th? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I may want to see that. But we'll see. They don't do anything.
That's a big show, though. That's a real big show. Yeah.
It is a big show, so I'm kind of curious about that. Just curious. I'll kind of miss. Do they go out to what's the place where? One Ring, Shinkiba One Ring.
Shinkiba First Ring.
First Ring.
Shinkiba. There are shows in Shinkiba, but right now the people are running more face. That the Shinjuku face instead of that Shinkiba First Ring.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Shinkiba First Ring got a new management. So.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So I want to say this to anyone who hasn't gone to Japan for Tokyo Dome. If you're going, or if you ever want to go, understand that and this has nothing to do with any company or anything like that, but because of Japan's transportation system and things like that, it is so much easier to get around.
Oh, JR trains and subways?
So much easier than WrestleMania. No disrespect. It's nothing to do with WWE. This is about public infrastructure. Okay? I'm not ripping on anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You can, as a wrestling
Because
fan,
when you go to WrestleMania, you'll be walking miles at the parking lot.
miles the parking lot or to wherever to see shows.
Yeah.
One show's way over
Yeah.
there. One show's anytown everybody.
Oh, when you
Vegas,
come to Tokyo Dome, you get off Suidobashi train station, walk over the bridge, it's there.
right? Boom.
Yeah.
Then you can get on the train, go wherever.
Go to
It's
next
so
town. Yeah.
go to the next
Yeah.
store, go to the stores. Oh,
Akihabara, go to
Yeah.
Harajuku, go to Shinjuku.
oh
All on
gosh,
train. It's not bad. Really easy.
I miss it so much. You have no idea. Oh, I miss it.
And I think with this yen being so weak and US dollar being so strong, I think they think go out to eat and have drinks. Japanese restaurants are so much cheaper or something because of the currency. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like inexpensive to eat out in Japan now.
It is great. We do have another question. It says here.
Okada mentioned beating Tanahashi as a heel with something like a low blow. How would Japanese fans respond to it being the end of Ace's last match, good or bad heat? Well, is publicly mentioned that the Okada something like using something like a low blow and it's a DQ finish like a big heel that because he mentioned that publicly, this is not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they don't give you that. They want you to think that way, but it's not going to be a low blow or anything like that. Yeah. So it's not going to take place that way.
It's the old bait and switch.
Yeah. I mean, wrestling 101.
You know, it is. I agree with you, but sometimes I think a lot of wrestlers sometimes effectively, and sometimes it blows up in their face. But some try to use the work shoot aspect of modern wrestling and interviews, to their advantage. Sometimes it works. They do it well. Other times,
and also,
it can add other.
in the worldwide market, WWE is the only mainstream company. They get so arrogant, they do it.
I think that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, I would say that right now they're probably less in a mood to want to kind of tweak the fans' nose than they used to be, Vince. But yeah, it definitely could still happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure that this is a big, huge superstar Tanahashi's farewell goodbye thing, right? It will end good-hearted, I think. In a feel-good show, feel-good ending. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
you're probably right. They respect him, and so no matter win or lose, it'll be respectful to him, his career, his legacy, all of those things.
And also send people home happy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I think so. Yeah.
I wasn't worried about that aspect, but yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm hoping there's like a 1 or 2 surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, small surprise, fine, but yeah. I mean, it won't be Shinsuke Nakamura surprise, but maybe like a Katsuyori Shibata type of surprise. I don't know. Or Kota Ibushi surprise. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, I mean, some big star from not too long ago and unannounced, but shows up at the building. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, well, okay, so last time I was there, Liger retired.
Yeah.
And, Liger went out on his back, but they had this whole tribute to him as far as opponents, famous feuds, what have you. They even paid tribute to the Keishan Liger. Could you think of anything, I guess it's sort of like a area, no, there's no Keisha Tanahashi, but any callbacks you might expect for the discerning fan to watch out for?
Huh.
I know
Not a
that's
prediction, but
no, it's not prediction, but something that could happen. Hey, this happened. They might play to this, or if this happens, they're playing to that.
yeah.
Never
And
mind.
then also in front of the educated wrestling fans, that when somebody's music hits, they know, right?
This is the one thing I suck at. I honestly, unless it's like a voice, like Randy Orton or someone's voice, or the glass, something really obvious. If it's just music, I'm like, I don't. I honestly, I don't know. I swear, I don't know
Well,
why.
but Japanese wrestlers with the original music, well, WWE too, but
Right? Yeah. No,
you
everybody in
could
there
tell.
will go, oh, and I'm like, who is excited? I don't pay attention. I guess the music just doesn't resonate with me, and I
Yeah.
feel
But
stupid.
from Tanahashi's past, small hint here, there, and then, and yeah, there's some good guests, Yeah,
Of course. So, yeah.
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
All right. Well, is there anything else we should discuss about Hiroshi Tanahashi and his
No, this is Tanahashi episode, and I want newer fans to think that he he's always been for the past 25 years or so the face of Japanese wrestling. Yeah.
By the way, I know that there's people listening who are wondering, they might be even saying it to themselves, Jim, dummy, you're not asking Fumi, where does Tanahashi rank, on the Mount Rushmore? If you've listened to the show before, Fumi does not do that. He talks about different eras and he's brought me around to this way of thinking as well, that you really can't compare Tanahashi or let's just say
Antonio Inoki or Ricky Dozan or Giant Baba or
Jumbo Saruta. You can't really act. It's
Mitsuharu Misawa. This is
not
was from 20th century.
Yeah, you can't. And I used to
hard.
I used to think that you were kind of holding out on me, but I've come to really I give it a lot of thought, and I think I now have come around reluctantly, but I do to your way of thinking. I don't think you can really.
70s music, 80s music, 90s music.
The only thing you can do is say Ricky Dozan and then Inoki and Baba. That's all you can do. Everything else is you just can't do it. It can't be done.
That's really hard, really. Or any other sports too, Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree
Baseball
because
players,
styles change, strategy,
and performed, always performed in front of a different era audience.
Yeah, it is different, but I mean, people will look at stats or they won't, and those type of things. But I mean, yeah, I agree.
So let's not ask. They have their own answers.
I'm just explaining why I didn't ask, but probably many feel is a obvious, and I would say cliche question.
Yeah. Well, Tanahashi, would have been star any era. He worked in 70s. He would have been star. If he worked in 80s, he would have been star too. In 90s, among either Three Musketeer or the Four Pillars, he would be up there too. So just equally talented, just living in a different era.
Fair enough.
What's that? See any questions there? Go ahead.
This is not a Tanahashi question, but we're at the end. We'll allow it.
Always wanted to ask Kumi what Inoki and Baba thought of Vince McMahon Jr. Did they respect him, trusted him? Why did the New Japan partnership end in the 80s? Wow. The someone who asked the question already know the answer. You know what I'm saying? And because, Inoki and Baba, say Vince Jr., huh? And it took them forever to say Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Always wanted to say Vince Jr. because in mid-60s, Giant Baba worked in Madison Square Garden for Vince Jr. and Vince Sr., And Antonio Inoki and New Japan Pro Wrestling had a partnership with Vincent James McMahon. And 1984 on, that Vince Kennedy McMahon stopped all the American wrestlers from coming to Japan. And Hulk Hogan said, I'm going. They said, you're not. And they stopped coming over, altogether. And American wrestling and Japanese wrestling have very little links, since then. Yeah. And in my own opinion, Antonio Inoki was like Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon in one person, And Giant Baba was more of your Sam Machinik, I don't know, that NWA type of, era promoter and wrestler, promoter and wrestler, St. Louis, Kansas City, Florida, that kind. Inoki wanted to conquer the world.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah, Inoki wanted to conquer the world.
There's another question very quickly. I will answer it because we talked about it at the very beginning. Fumi believes that the best American comparison is Tanahashi, John Cena. And we did. So go back, listen to the beginning. We talked a long time about it. And he's got a lot of good stuff. But I did.
Yeah, because John Cena born 1977. The Tanahashi born 1976. Cena, Tanahashi both debuted 1999, then became superstar after 2000. Well, 2003 for John Cena's part. But Tanahashi was the one who walked right through dark age of Japanese wrestling, the MMA era, the K1, the Pride, this famous pro wrestler participated in MMA contests. Nobuhiko Takada, the Yuji Nagata, the Kendo Kashin, the Fujita, Yoshihiro Takayama. All these guys went into MMA, not wrestling company, but most of them lost. It's like a lot of most loyal wrestling fans left wrestling and never came back. Therefore, dark age. And we had to wait for Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura to become superstar. Therefore, new era.
This person also believes he believes, without knowing, before he heard your answer, they heard your answer. That his comparison, their comparison, I don't know if it's a man or woman, but their comparison, they believe he's akin to Bret Hart in WWE, steadying presence, who kept the ship afloat. I would say, as far as importance and draw and lifting up the company, that Tanahashi bigger to New Japan than Bret was from a dollar standpoint to WWE. But as far as hair, equals, definitely.
I'm a big Bret Hart fan. So
yeah, me too.
His in-ring work. Oh yes, yes, big fan.
But I can.
But it's all different era,
Yeah, it is.
Monday Night War, WWF and WCW, that the Bret Hart did move to WCW as part of Monday Night drama, and Tanahashi really was with New Japan from the beginning, and he stayed with New Japan and made New Japan great again.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded awful, but yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yes, absolutely. Here's another question. Would you say Tanahashi seen more like an athlete or as more of like an entertainer personality? Because he's a wrestler. Both, okay.
And also he's a college graduate, He went to not the athletic scholarship or anything. He went to his college like in academic way, and he graduated like a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? Then he even did college pro wrestling, Japanese subculture that much like your backyard wrestling. He pretended to be pro wrestler while he was in college. He ran his own show, and he didn't tell Ricky Choshu, the audition guy, about it. But later on, he came up. Oh, I did that too, and he was a wrestling fan. He didn't even hide it, And so he's a good athlete, good entertainer, well educated, well spoken,
good
and all
looking and great
good
hair.
looking guy. Yeah. And
We should,
also that I don't know if I should bring this up, but there was an incident that his once upon a time girlfriend stabbed him in the back. I mean, that's a real old story.
like stabbed, like a knife stab.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was a court case that he came out in the courtroom and said, "I forgive her." So that was a statement. Yeah. That was like 2002 or 3, yeah. So it's not been really talked about, but there was an incident, it was in newspaper too,
I forgot about that. I guess, or maybe I
because
didn't
it
know.
was during the dark age.
I was still
Yeah,
watching. I was around.
yeah, and then all the court hearing and everything was pretty much reported in the sports paper and everything that he came out and testified that please lighten this sentence and he's like, I forgive her, and stuff like that, just the big guy, big hearted.
Wow. Sheesh.
Yeah.
God, I feel
Well,
like
it's not been talked about, so maybe I brought that up. I'm sorry.
I think it's a very nice thing. Jeez. I just feel like such a loser now. He's so much better. So much better than all of us.
No,
So it's
but
the show.
yeah,
Tanahashi,
but that's true,
it's
though.
better than you. What? Just kidding.
But Tanahashi's really carried the company and carried wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And they're like not female fans or kids fans, but the wrestling male fans or the young guys who wanted to be wrestler, all looked up to him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. A
Let me
lot
ask
of
you
them
this.
want to be like Tanahashi.
You personally, are you going to be a little sad when he goes? What's going to be your reaction, do you think?
Well, he made decision, that obviously that the Tanahashi, this version of Tanahashi who's in the ring right now,
Yeah.
is not really what he used to be,
Of course not. No, of course not.
clunky and but he's doing his best, and
Yeah.
he will bring his A game on his final show, high fly floor, the again, what's this spinning thing?
The
Sling blade. Yeah, he will bring his best sling blade. He does his, and also he educated wrestling fan by having one finish, right? High fly floor, like frog splash, one frog splash, 1, 2, 3, that kind of opponent. Bigger opponent, you start with your crossbody, then finish with your high fly flow. That kind of 1, 2, 3, elevated your opponent. And the even better opponent, you give front and back twice, then go home. And even better opponent, 3 splash to beat him. So much like Jumbo Tsuda's back, like a Luther's backdrop, you beat him with 1 backdrop, or beat him with 2 backdrop, or you take 3 backdrop to beat the person. So
right.
Tanahashi did the very same kind of format that he let audience know what kind of opponent he's dealing with.
All right, let's wrap this up with this question.
Yes, sir.
Here it is. If you, Fumi Saito, could describe Tanahashi's career in one word, what would that word be?
I don't know, dignity.
I was trying to think of a word to describe or give the
Loyalty?
image of like lifting or something and the best I could come up with would be like revival at the moment, because he revived New Japan
And pro wrestling industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that. I would, if I could, and I'll come up with it later. But
and very loyal to wrestling fans.
Yes.
All over the country, kids or even female fans. He, a lot of fans treated him like a rock star. Give him like a towel, like this, and he goes there. and give it back to him. You know what I mean?
Reinvigorating it. We're getting close. Like reinvigorating something, or I'm trying to think like some sort of synonym with like carrying, those type of something like that, something to to imply the lifting up of New Japan and or carrying New Japan, that kind of thing. That's the word. That's a word I would choose.
Mhm,
That's what I would.
mhm.
That's just me.
And he built it. He built trust between wrestling fans and wrestling. There was never a bad feeling or going home mad. You know what I'm saying?
Ambassador. Trust ambassador.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
An all-around good guy kind of feeling.
There we go. All right, well, let's put away the thesaurus for right now.
Okay.
Where can people find you on social?
Fumi Saito on Facebook, or Fumihiko Dayo on X Twitter, and also Fumi Saito BSKY social,
Right.
or Fumi Saito no space on. Wait a minute. Oh, that's lying. That you don't have that in.
It's we call it an underscore in this country.
Okay, Fumi Saito 2001 on Instagram.
There we go. You can find me on Jim Valley on Blue Sky. Jim Valley, Jim_Valley on Instagram if you want. I'm on.
Oh no, the line I said was like a Japanese app.
Oh, okay.
Line LINE. Yeah.
Sorry,
I find Fumi Saito no space. Yeah.
But you're on Instagram too, right? So there we go.
Or,
that's right.
Fumi Saito with no space on Blue Sky.
There we go. All right. Until next time.
All right. So long from Tokyo. Let's do it again soon.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you guys being here.